So we're talking briefly now about the nervous system. Very important, large, complicated system which is designed with collecting information, processing that information, and then sending messages back to the various parts of the body about what they should do. It's like an telephone network, and it's divided into two. You've got the central nervous system, which is the brain, and then the spinal cord, which runs from the brain and is protected all the way down by the vertebral column and all the vertebrae all the way down. And then you've got the peripheral nervous system, which are the multiple small bundles of nerve fibres that come out from the central nervous system at all levels and run to every part of the body. These nerve fibres are of two types. You've got the sensory nerve fibres, which pick up sensation, send the information. Doesn't matter. Send the information to the central nervous system, and then you've got the motor nerve fibres, where the information as to what the body's got to do is sent back down the nerve fibres to the nerve cells at the end, and then action is created. And there are two types of nerve reactions. You've got the voluntary nerve action, which is when the sensory nerve cells pick up information, it goes up to the brain processes that information and then sends information back down to the part of the body as to what it's got to do. So it's a slightly slower process. For example, picking up a horse's foot, I run my hands down his leg and squeeze, and that creates pressure that the sensory nerve cells pick up. Information goes up to the head realizes that that's a command to pick up the leg, sends information down the motor nerve fibers, and they pick up the leg. And that's opposed to the involuntary or reflex actions, which are created when, at a much more local level, when a horse swishes its tail. That's a reflex action to a fly landing on the horse's skin, picking up the senses, and the tail swishes as a result. That only goes up to the spinal cord and back down again. That's not processed through the brain. It's an immediate, quick reflex action. Like if I tickle here, you can see the skin flickering and twitching. He did to begin with. But that's a local, immediate reflex action. So we come on to the senses. The senses which are dependent on the actions within the cranial nerves up in the brain region, and we're talking about the sensation of seeing, of hearing, of smelling, of tasting, and then of just generally feeling, like knowing about whether one is thirsty or hungry or hot or cold, all those feelings that are necessary for survival. So finely attuned, and I thought we'd just see whether we could demonstrate a few examples of those senses. So I'm going to give Gunnar something to eat and see if he'll show you how he hears the rustle of the bag, turns his head and uses his seeing sense to see what's happening, and then I'm hoping he's going to smell the food before he tastes it. But this may not work. So, Gunnar. So he's heard the bag rustling. You can see his ears flickering as he picks up the noise. He will then have a look and turn his head to what is here. Hello. And then we're going to see whether he will... There he is smelling to see whether it's something that actually he should be eating or not. It's actually a little bit of meat, and because he's smelling that, he's deciding that it's not suitable for eating. So we'll try this instead. So he decided it smelt all right, but actually the taste turned him off that. So he smelt it, decided it was all right. It's actually a dog biscuit, but I think he's so hungry by now that he thought he'd give it a go. But you can see he's not quite sure about the taste of it. Anyway, a little bit about the nervous system. Good boy.